here today to talk about Man Up, the rom-com you're in with Simon Pegg. And I was just wondering what attracted you to the role, because in real life you're a successful writer, director and actress, and you're married with a kid, and then now you're playing Nancy, who's a bit of a downtrodden, can't find the right kind of guy.
Well, I love this script so much, and I felt like Tess really penned something that felt relatable and, a character that was refreshingly sort of original in that, often it's the man who's sort of cynical and the woman is sort of a hopeless romantic looking for someone, and then maybe she'll find the right guy. And so it was nice to kind of play with changing those roles, but also in general, the movie feels kind-spirited, and I think often now there's this trend to make romantic comedies sort of fight against the actual genre, to kind of make them the anti-romantic comedies and kind of snarky. And what I find really refreshing about it is that it's sort of unapologetic. And Nancy specifically is delightfully messy in all the right ways. I mean, she's not so misanthropic that we can't relate to her. And, while, my life is different than hers, but I do, I always bring myself a little bit to each role just to kind of latch on to some realism and to make it feel, accessible. But, yeah.
And what I really liked about the movie is it's kind of a return of a traditional rom-com. I know it is snarky, but it feels like Hollywood.
I don't think it's snarky at all. This movie?
Well, she's a bit sarcastic.
I think that within the characterization of Nancy, I think that she, she's definitely cynical in that way that I think deep down is desperately hoped to be proven wrong. You can go online and look and see that I've done interviews when I was younger, proclaiming that marriage was an archaic institution, that it was, we are ostensibly, monkeys and are, destined to breed with many, and that it makes no sense, and we live too long, and if we died at 45, then sure, marriage makes sense. I went on and on about it. I have like sort of my soapbox about that back in the day. And then, my husband, I meet Scott Campbell, and all of a sudden I'm like, what? Okay, I'll marry you, because, at the end of the day, it's just you have to find the right person. And I desperately, secretly hoped, like Nancy, to find someone, and I knew the only way that I was gonna get married was like if he threw me over his shoulder and said, we're doing this. And that's kind of how it went down. But, I think it's, I like Nancy for that. I think it's honest to if you're having a rough going of it and you feel cynical, that's real, and hopefully it'll be relatable for people.